Watame, Sanjo, Watame, Kyojo, God damn it, I can't get that song out of my head. Holy crap, it's so addictive. I just don't know what to do, chat. Okay, if you don't know, hold on, I'll show you. Okay, Watame Factory, just I don't even know if I should though, cause like if I do it, you won't get it out of your head either. It's so good. It's so look at it. Look at it. And the thing that really annoys me is that it's so simple. It's just 6 words. It's 6 words that are being repeated over and over with a sick beat. Listen to this. There when I close my eyes. It's there when I sleep. It is there when I take a piss. The song follows me eternally. There is no way that I can get rid of it. Oh, God. I hope that time, the passage of time, Father Time might actually help me with this. So, God. Anyway, right. So, Arch is streaming right now. I think he's got like 700 people watching. There's a little bit of an overlap between his subs and mine. So, I expect not many people are going to tune into this, but still. How does Sarah J. Jacobson know about the Watame Factory? I thought that I was only privileged to this knowledge because people who keep hearing it get depressed because it's in your head going over and over and over. There's a death metal of... Oh my god, I would like that. I would like a death metal cover of it. V is a weeb. Oh, it took you 10 years to figure it out? By the way, I just want to address this. Had to close the light. I just want to address something. I keep hearing people being upset that there's too many younglings watching anime. What do you want them to watch? Do you want them to watch Netflix? Is Netflix appropriate? Like, because if people watch Netflix, okay, they watch Cooties, Director's Cut. Oh, that's progressive. Oh, congratulations, young man. Congratulations, young man. That is a righteous form of entertainment. That is where we want our youth to go. To Netflix. Go watch Disney. Haha, with the mouse. Oh, that is some progressive level of entertainment right there. Watch football, watch soccer, watch that shit. Oh, you're watching anime. Oh my god, you must be a virgin. Oh, you're watching anime. Ew, oh, what are you doing? What is this Watame? VTubers. Oh, why can't you watch a progressive woman like Pokimane? Because she's real. She's made out of flesh and blood. I understand why people watch Pokimane, but you're watching Watame? You're watching Gargura? Gnest, how about you go fuck yourself? The volume is perfect, alright? The volume is so freaking crystal clear, Gnest, that maybe, just maybe, you should go to a doctor to check your freaking hearing. Because you are the problem, okay, chat? You tell Gnest that he has a health issue that he can get fixed by visiting a doctor today. I am concerned. Look, Nest, I am like a journalist right now. I am like a journalist. I am #concerned. I am concerned because Gnest's hearing might be at an impairment. He might have a disadvantage. Gnest, I don't want you to leave your home and then you end up with a dog biting you because you didn't hear the chihuahua sneaking behind you. It was a stealth mode chihuahua, but in reality it wasn't because you should have heard it because you do not have the correct hearing. Damn it. Umatsu Ubosa, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being here. Flat is justice. Dude, what did you know, like, this is the type of thing that's like money doesn't bring happiness. Only rich people get to say that. And flat is justice is probably something that girls with big boobies said first. They're the ones that came up, or you know, men. Men don't need boobies. I mean, they need boobies on women, but they don't need boobies on themselves. So they come up with the concept that flat is just. It's such a delusional concept to have. Flat is just. And by the way, like, what does that mean? What does it even mean? Like, there are enough women that have big boobies, so now there needs to be some cosmic justice that other women need to not have the boobies? Do you know how depressed women are after they go to breast reduction surgery because they had cancer or something? Like, there are people that actually try to get implants in order to look with boobs because, like, the cancer, the killer titties, they require surgery. And now they're like, oh, well, tell those women that flat is justice. Who on earth believes that? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. What does it mean, like, flat is just so big boobs are injustice, right? I generally don't get it. That like flat. Why is it just for boobs? Like, why is it not for us? I mean, I know so many women that have a flat ass. Is that just as well? Like, justice in what way? It is just cope. Yeah, exactly, Matthew. Matthew, you have won the stream. Like, right now, today, you have, congratulations, you won the stream. It is 100% cope. Opa is truth. Another one. There is like a, wiggle room when it comes to the boobies. All right? Like, there is some wiggle room because too big is also not okay. Like if she has breasts the size where you need to back down in order to take the Kodak moment, like you got the camera and you wanna take a picture of her, you're like, hold on, I need to back a little bit because your breasts aren't into the picture. Okay, that is too big, right? So that is another injustice. Speaking of which, I actually have a friend of mine, she's a girl, got like big breasts, and she doesn't like them because her back hurts, like literally ouch her back, the meme, right? So she goes out, makes a loan from the bank. I told her it's a fucking bad idea, but she does it anyway. Takes a loan from the bank. I forgot how much. I think it was like $10,000. For a Romanian, that's huge. Like $10,000, mind-blowing. So she takes $10,000 and gets a breast reduction surgery. In 5 months, they grew back, chat. In 5 months, they grew back. I mean, look, I just, like that was a level of unfairness. And now, like, the thing is, like, when they grow back, according to her, like, first of all, she's got, like, the scars, right? And secondly, it's also not the same consistency, if you know what like, the density. It doesn't feel the same to her touch, her boyfriend can attest. And it's, I mean, like that is some level of unluck, because now she still has to pay the $10,000 back, like, the bank doesn't care. Like, the bank doesn't care about her boobies. So, like, that is injustice. Maybe that's what the people that say flat is justice are talking about. Because, yeah, like, that would be a level of injustice. When I had DD, oh my god, I love that all the women are stepping out now. It's like all the sexy women in the chat, like, look at Grayson Nelson, like, trying to use a male name in order to hide her feminine features, and all of a sudden, me talking about this made her step forward. The chat is becoming more inclusive by the day. When I had DDs, they didn't hurt my back. That is true, right? Like, for some women, it hurts. For other women, it doesn't. Like, for example, for my wife, it doesn't hurt, but it's annoying for other reasons. Like, if she tries to run, like, legitimately, like, the bus is leaving, right? So she knows to go after the bus. Like, she can have a boobie slapping her in her face, and that is problematic, or when she goes down the stairs. Like, there's other difficulties, right? Like, it's a different difficulty level, but not all women have back problems because of breath. Some do, some don't. Again, I keep saying this, like, it really annoys me when I hear a guy, especially, like, he has been embedded with soy, and he goes like, ouch her back. They see like a comic book depiction of a woman that has like a bigger breast, and like, ouch her back. And I'm like, motherfucker, ouch your back. You sit slouched in front of the computer on a fucking chair all day. Like, you care about the fictional character's back. How about your back? Like, you're a real person, all right? You're sitting slouched there like Scrooge McDuck. What exactly are you trying to say here? It's like you don't want other people to experience your pain and hardship? Do need a good bra, though. The bounce hurts. Look, Umatsu Obosano's like, all the booby ladies are coming up now. And like, all I have to do, see, this is a psyop that I have run. I'm as good as the fucking CIA. All I have to do is to make a couple of references, and all of a sudden, all the booby ladies chat. Look, I'm already a married man, but you guys are single. Like, you take their numbers, you take their names, and you can talk to them later on. It's like, hey, Umatsu. So, I heard you like listening to that troll V, huh? Oh, I like V myself. Let's talk about it. What else do you like, Umatsu? You like anime? Right? And then you have a connection. That's how you seduce women, chat. Look, Potty Gal, another one. Like, look, they keep coming out of the woodwork. Right? You talk to them. You just get them to give you their Twitter account. If they don't have it, get them on Facebook. I don't know what. Meet them up on my Discord. Maybe I should make that, like, have on my personal Discord. And have like a channel. How should I call it? Dr. Love or something? And you guys can try to communicate with the ladies in my chat. Ladies, you would be helping the channel out as well, right? You're driving traffic that way. V's dating service. No, it's not really a dating tip. I guess it would be a dating service. But I wouldn't have like an algorithm that tries to trick you into dating people based on some social engineer Yet again, like I have seen an article saying, "Oh, we need to seize control of the dating applications because only by seizing control can we engineer society. The power that we could have." And I'm like, "Holy fucking shit, like, Jesus Christ." I like long walks on the beach. Dude, I don't think American women appreciate that. Like, what type? Have you seen American women? I don't think they like walking on the beach. I think they would rather Netflix and chill, right? Like, that's why it's called Netflix and chill. It's not walking on the beach and chilling. Who walks on the beach, by the way? Like, walking on the beach. It's horrible. Sand gets in your shoes. You do physical straining activity. Why would you want to walk on the beach? Walk on the beach. I never understand this, like, there comes an age, like mine, for example, 35 years old. I don't get the idea of actually going out and seeing shit anymore. Here's the thing, like, let's go out and see the pyramids of Giza. Let's look at the pyramids. I have them on my fucking TV, okay? I got a big-ass 4K TV with HDR coloring and all that good shit, and a couple of features that I don't even know what the fuck they do. I can put the pyramids of Giza right there. And I can just see them. Like, why would I? Like, what is the difference if I go and see them in a fucking person? It's like, oh, right, I'm in front of the pyramids. Oh, great, now I have to go back home. 24-hour trip. Like, why exactly would I want to do that? Now, if it's about going somewhere in order to eat, I'm all in it. Let's go to London. Go to Chef Gordon Ramsay's 3-star Michelin restaurant that's going to bankrupt me. Okay, that's a different connotation. But, like, to actually go there, like, you get to see it. You get, why the fuck would I buy such an expensive TV? Like, if not to see things. It's different being there. How, Matthew? How the fuck is it different being there? Yeah, it is different being there. 24-hour trip, right? You go at the fucking plane. You sit congested with other people that are coughing around you. And then you pay a lot of money. And then you pay a hotel that has literally nothing to do, right? It doesn't even have a fucking computer in it. And then you see the pyramids, right? It takes like 30 minutes to see them. You're already tired because you had to walk over there. It's hot. It's the desert, by the way. And then you have to go back. Another 24 hours sit in a congestion. Yeah, it is different. I agree. I would rather not put up with that shit. I would rather just turn on my television. If you go there yourself, it's at least 42 degrees. Yes, it's probably more than 42 degrees. It's the freaking desert. It's the freaking desert. Like, I don't even know how those people managed to build that shit without getting heart attacks. Like, that is the wonder. It's like the desert. 42 degrees. Like, take into account when Qatar built that stadium, the football stadium, they accounted for, like, I think it was like 100 of their workers dying because of heat strokes and shit. And I'm like, okay, they had all the modern technology that we have access to. Imagine doing that in ancient times, building the pyramids. That would have been just wow. Doesn't even, for ancient times, those were probably a wonder to behold. Like, they were, just so you can understand, back then, like, people didn't even know how to build houses that had the floor, right? So, like, every single thing was small. And then you get to see the pyramids, like this colossus building that you have to lean your head back in order to see it. It would have probably been incredibly magnificent. Small place traveling is key, no huge crowds. Oh yeah, like another thing, right? Like, here's, let me show you something else, right? So traveling. See if I can find one of these pictures, right? Because, like, a lot of people. Imagine a way on how traveling is. Oh, this is my favorite website, right? This is the best website to take the piss out of people who like traveling, eh? So, like, visiting the Great Wall of China. Look how cool it looks, right? Like, this is how you see it. And then in reality, right? And I always wonder this fucking shit. It's like, where are the tourists, right? And by the way, like, this is before the internet, right? Like, people kept showing me this. It's like, where the fuck are the tourists? Like, well, they probably took this picture during the pandemic, right? Because this is the reality. And this fucking thing. Look at it. Look at it. It's, oh my God. I genuinely, this is why I prefer not going here. And I would rather go to a restaurant or some other secluded place. Why would I go here and I see all of these people doing this shit? I mean, to be honest though, like there was a guy that flung some spooge at her recently, so I guess that would have been entertaining to be part of history, you know, like this is bulletproof glass, by the way, because some other smartass tried to do the same. But fun fact, you know why the Mona Lisa is so expensive? Because initially it wasn't even considered like an expensive portrait, but apparently someone stole it. I'm not even kidding. Like, someone stole the Mona Lisa. I think this was like 50 or 60 years ago. Probably 100, probably more. I don't know. But like, they stole the Mona Lisa. And there was like this intricate chase where the cops tried to find out who did it. And basically what happened is like all of this national renown and all of these things, eventually when they got it, it actually became a famous painting. So now you know. There were people waiting only for the selfie. Nobody was even looking at Lisa. Well, yeah, that's the thing, you know, like back in the day when you didn't have access to the internet, I completely get it. Like, you didn't have access to the internet. You go to France, you actually go and you see the Mona Lisa. But nowadays, like, the reason people travel, and I swear to God, this is the fucking reason why people travel, isn't to actually see the thing themselves. It's to take a selfie so other people know they traveled. This is a commercial on my phone because I had to put the chat. It's a YouTube commercial. It's not okay. That you don't think about it. But all right, prove me wrong. All right, like debunk this. Fact checkers, debunk this. The only reason people travel is so that other people can see that they traveled. I refuse to believe anything else. I refuse to believe like any other thing is a CIA psyop. I mean, look. This lady, I don't know who she is, but I assume she's there to take a selfie so that other people can see that she was there. Notice how people aren't even looking at the thing, right? Like, people aren't even looking at the thing. The same here, you know, like the reason people are there is to take a picture to show others that they're there. I know that I'm fucking right. I know, I'm probably making a video about it because it just came up to me. This is the whole reason you travel, so you can put it on Facebook, so you can put it on Instagram, so that the ushy-cushy ladies can say, oh my God, this guy probably has money. He probably has money. He went there. Oh, he goes to all these exciting places. Maybe if I can seduce him with my boobies, because I am not flat, because flat is injustice, but like if I can seduce him, he's going to take me there, because he's got money. If I seduce him, then his money become my money. You go there to prove it's real? Depends where they travel. Well, obviously, you know, like, it depends where they travel. Like, look, if it's a guy that has, like, pictures, oh, he went to the Wall of China, he went to the Pisa, he went to the France, he went to this and that, then eventually, people are going to say, oh, wow, he's rich. I mean, he can travel all the world. Your country sided with the Nazis, your takes make sense. Well, it was more like a historical conjunction, you know, like it wasn't due to ideological reasons, but happened long ago. We sided with the righteous commies afterwards, so it's fine. But no, like, here's the thing, right? Because I remember when I used to go in a vacation, and when I went to Britain, for example, I brought the woman. With me at the London meetup. And all she wanted is like, let's take pictures, let's stop, let's take pictures. I'm like, fucking hell. Why, though? Why? I never understood. But now it makes sense. It's to show that, oh, I managed to seduce this rich boyfriend. It raises my fucking social status. Having a picnic near the Eiffel Tower. I never understand the concept of picnics anymore. Like, maybe back in communism when going to a restaurant costed an arm and a leg. Sure. But nowadays, like, who goes to a picnic? Why would you go to a picnic, though? Go to a fucking restaurant. Yeah, like, this is another thing, right? Like, this is another... This is a green wall, isn't it? This is a green... God. Okay, I think this may be a little bit exaggerated. I don't think it's that fucking crowded. Also, this is probably a very old picture because I'm pretty sure France is a little bit more diverse than this. Hello, Synchro 505. I noticed you. Learning a new hobby on a ski trip. No one does this on their, like when they're learning. When you're learning, you're falling on your fucking ass. There we go. I didn't even click it. I knew it. Sunbathing in Brazil. Oh, this is probably covered with litter, and it's probably going to be overcrowded. This is pretty much how a beach looks like. Like, this is how I see the Romanian beaches as well. I mean, moving from this part to this part takes at least 2 hours because you have to go through people and they're like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. The thing on the beach, right, is that people don't really sit in an organized manner to allow room to walk, right? Like, and this is something that I noticed organizers could do, like the people carrying the beach. Like, they could just mark a road from this point to this point and then have like other roads that go sideways so that you don't have to bother people when walking. But in reality, there's no such thing, so you constantly need to be careful not to step on someone's towel or whatever they have set up. Taking a peaceful gondola ride. I genuinely don't know when they take these pictures, by the way. I genuinely don't know when they take these pictures so that there's no one else there. But I will tell you something. Depending on when you go into Venice, the water can either be fresh or it can be stinky. Like, it smells like a fucking sewer. I swear to God, I think like some people from this building might open the window and piss in the water. I don't explain how else does it smell so bad that it's filled with muck and algae. It's kind of like a lake, I guess. Right? So, I mean, this is kind of fun. I'm not going to say that this is bad or anything. I mean, the water is at least clean, so there's that. Sorry about that. Yeah, the pictures may have been taken years ago. It's probably what it is. Yeah, the thing is, like, this never looks like this in reality. It never, like, I don't even know how they take these pictures without Photoshop, to be honest. Like, every single time you go there, it's going to be crowded. Unless, like, this is a picture taken outside of the tourist vacation time, you know, like December. I don't know, but it looks really, really bizarre. I don't know how you can manage to, like, not get a single person. This is also the same type of picture. Like, how did you manage not to get a single person in the shot? Rename your live stream to the Kick VTuber Show episode? Nah. This is a place where I would always be afraid of falling down and breaking my fucking neck. I generally don't understand Greek architecture. Like, no, seriously, like, imagine, you know, you have your shoelaces untied, and you fall from this place. You're going to end up in this place. Imagine 2 kids playing football. One of them kicks the ball, and it's like they have to go all the way down to get it. Yeah. I mean, again, these pictures are exaggerated. They're, I suppose, like, they're the opposite extremes. Like, this one is completely empty, and this one is completely full. I'll tell you this, like, the reason that I do think it's a good idea to shame these pictures is that you see them everywhere, right? Like, on every tourist catalog, on every place, like, hey, come here because it looks really cool. So I get it. But it's probably not this crowded. It is crowded, but not this crowded. Taj Mahal. Okay, this does look beautiful. But again, like, you go there and it's a park like any other park, right? Like, the only reason you'd go there is to take a picture so that you show to other people that you've been there. Oh, this is another thing, right. Like, this is another good point. It's like the weather. Every single time you go on a vacation, you have to take an account for the weather. Because while it looks like this on the postcard, when you go there, it probably looks like this. I have to say, like, imagine spending a lot of money. Like, you're spending, I don't know, $2,000 to go to Tokyo. And you finally get to Tokyo and you want to visit something, and it's like the worst weather imaginable. It's like stormy. It's really bad. And the thing is, like, you can't even account for it. Because, like, usually when you take a plane ticket, you schedule it a month in advance. And then when you finally go there, you notice, oh, fuck, it's going to be raining. Or it's going to be smog or whatever, yeah. I hate tourists. They come to my town in summer and wreck the place and act entitled. Yeah, I see a lot of people disliking tourists, but at the same time, the same people don't understand that it's the tourism that makes their city have an economy. Like, I know certain cities in the world that if there was no tourism, that city wouldn't survive. It's kind of as bad as Detroit, okay? Like, from the point of view that when there's business in Detroit, like when they had the car manufacturing and all the other factories, it was like a booming state. It was a booming city. And you had like a lot of middle class people, and the architecture showed that people are wealthy. And the moment the business is left, well, you have the Detroit of today. And it's the same thing with certain cities that rely on tourism. Like, they need those people to come there with their fat wallets so they can purchase shit. We are all tourists at one point. Yeah, but like the thing with tourists, right? Like I noticed this is the shopping cart litmus test. And honestly, not all of the time is the tourist's fault. Like, I have been in places where there's not a single garbage bin, right? So you end up sitting with your garbage in your hand for 40 minutes before you finally give up. It's a test of will. Like, okay, so this is how the Romanian beaches look, right? They're overcrowded. And if you go to a Romanian beach, let's say you buy a Pepsi bottle. It's not an endorsement, by the way, but you buy a Pepsi bottle and you drink it, right? So then you want to throw it in a bin, but you keep walking around and there's no bin to be found. It is like the quest of finding the golden bin, and after 40 minutes, you realize that the bin has got the better of you. And eventually, you do this. And you're one person, but look how many people there are. And all of the... Now, of course, there are some people that are just plain old assholes. Like, they do have the opportunity to leave it in a bin, but they still... And by the way, even if there are bins, like, sometimes you need to take into account that just because there are so many people and all of them have trash, like, the bins are going to be filled really fast. So you need to have someone that constantly empties the bins, because otherwise you're still going to get this. You be a good choice for a villain in 80. How am I villainous? Don't do anything villainous. Enjoying your private moments on the beaches of Thailand. Yeah, this is literally why this person is here, to take this photo. Well, okay, no. There are exceptions. All right, there are exceptions. So usually people go in holidays to take a photo where it is just like some scenery. But if you go to a place where there's like water, or, like it's a mountain and you want to climb it to do exercise, that's different. But you can still take the photo to tell people that you went there. How is this different, though? Like, this is actually... No, hold on a little bit. No, this is not very crowded. This is still a nice place. I would still go there. I don't blame people for taking this picture. This is like this place is way more crowded when I was there, and the petrol fumes were stifling. Oh yeah, well, can't do anything about the petrol fume. She's there for late. Dude, it's a vacation. Like, who goes on a vacation without trying to get late? Admiring the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Watching the Stonehenge. Oh my fucking god. Like, I would be so disappointed. If I went to see the Stonehenge, like, I would expect there to be like 20, 30 people watching it, but if it looks like this, it's just like walking with people and there's rocks around. Is this fake as fuck? We go to Thailand and get sunstroke the first day. I mean, if you go to a beach, you're going to get it, so. Yeah, the pyramids of Giza. Why would you go there? Why would you go there? It's 43 degrees Celsius. You only go there to say you went there. And you have to stay in line. Oh my god. Imagine staying in a queue on 33. I don't even know if some of you guys in the chat can even imagine what 43 degrees are. Celsius. Like, let me tell you how much that is in Kelvin, okay? So Celsius to Kelvin, or Fahrenheit, whatever you guys use. Fahrenheit, right? We're talking about 109 degrees Fahrenheit, chat. And this is a cold day in the desert, just so you know. So it's no, seriously, like the desert, if you're not used to it, I spoke with people who went there. It's incredibly intolerable. Like you're going to feel like you're dying. I don't even know how else to describe it. I lived in Texas once a year. It's like 110. Well, Americans actually do have deserts, but you don't have the cool desert. You have the desert with strawberry. Let me see. Like Americans have like the Breaking Bad desert. American desert. What do you call it? The North America, the Mojave. Oh yeah, the Mojave. There's not even cool sand in the Mojave. You know, like I don't even know why you guys call it a desert. Hold on. Let me show you, right? Dune desert. Oh yeah, all right. So, this is the pitiful excuse you Americans have for a desert, right? It's just filled with strawberry. I mean, you have some sand, but it's like, dude, this is a fucking desert. Okay, this is how a desert should look like. Like, look at the coloration, look at the fauna, look at the dunes. This is an actual desert. What is this? What is this nonsense? This is nonsense, chat. At least you have cactus. I mean, look, the fact that you have cactus is also problematic. Like, there's no cactuses here. There's no cacti. Because it's a desert. Death Valley in California. Yeah? Alright, well, isn't that like the entirety of California? Death Valley, California. Oh, okay, this looks like a desert. It actually looks kind of cool. I do agree. This is... I wonder if this is the compassion and empathy of Californians, huh? A lot of desert was created by lack of crop rotation by the cultures there. I don't believe it. I don't think that's the case. Because a lot of people didn't use crop rotations in history. Like, it's actually... Well, not a new invention, like the concept of crop rotation. When was crop rotation invented? Because I think it's quite a modern way of doing agriculture. So crop rotation invented. Agricultural chemist George Washington Carver developed crop rotation. So, apparently they were also using it in ancient Near Eastern farmers practiced crop rotation. Yeah, but like when was it deployed en masse? Like when was it apparently it's from the US. Like I'm actually shocked by this. Like a person in the US invented the proper crop rotation. It's probably later than Middle Ages. So basically, like, if you're saying it's true, it's like, oh, there's desert because people didn't practice crop rotation. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you don't do it, like, eventually the land becomes barren, right? But I don't think it becomes barren to the point where it becomes a desert that lasts there for thousands of years. Like, I don't think that's the case. My town 400. How the fuck can you patent crop rotation? How can you patent it? And how do you enforce it? It's like, oh, I saw this guy, you know, he planted this type of crops last year, and now he's planting something else. Oh, copyright. My town of 400 is ground zero for food eclipse in 2024. They're expecting 30,000 people plus. Well, that's actually good for you because you're going to be able to sell them shit. So if you actually have that, like if you're in a town of 400, right, and you know that there's going to be 40,000 people there, that's the type to sell. Like that is the type. You can literally say that you're going to charge $1,000 for someone sleeping in your house, and they will probably pay. Like if it's that many people, someone is probably going to pay. You can just have the most bizarre, wacky, crazy price that you can think of as someone would pay for you if it's 40,000 people that are like desperately needing shit. Because they might need a place to stay, they might need something to eat, they might need, a souvenir or something. Yeah, exactly, Synchro. Start a food stand and sell chicken parm. Like if you can make like a food stand and you can sell chicken wings or something and you can just triple or quadruple their price and you're going to make some money. And like the thing is like, it's like, I wonder if anyone would be able to tax you for that, right? Because it's not even it's not a recurrent business. You just make money once. Right? Because it's not like a normal tourist resort. The tourists here have no taste. They only buy fake license plates and trucker hats. I'm starting to think that Tubatsu Bosa is very touristophobic. Do you have a license for them chicken wings? Yeah, well, who's going to ask you license? Like, by the time the cops are actually leaving the station, to the time they arrive, you're probably closed up shop anyway, and you're never opening it again, so. They want to tax the air. They're already taxing carbon, so technically, yes, they are. They're not taxing the air you breathe. You know, like a lot of people say, oh, they're going to tax the air you breathe. No, they're going to tax the air you expire. No one thought about that. Like, that took me by surprise as well. Climbing Mount Everest. Oh, come on. There can't be that many. Dude, I don't fucking believe that. There can't be this many mountain climbers. But you know what? Like, I'll give them this. Like, the people who are climbing Mount Everest, they don't do it to just take a selfie. They also do it because they like it. So this is different. Hanging out at the Spanish Steps. Oh, you know, like the Joker step scene, the one that was in the Joker movie. Like, apparently, it's filled with people now. Everyone goes there to take a selfie. Look up White Sands. Okay, Zenith. Zenith has run out of money. Like, he usually gives me $5, but I'm so glad that right now it doesn't have money anymore. Zenith, I robbed you blind. White Sands. Oh wow, this actually does look beautiful. Is this in America? U.S. National Park. Yeah. Okay, this is a desert. It looks kind of cool. I wonder if the creepy crawlies are white as well for camouflage. Like if you have white spiders and shit. Yeah, no, this looks really great. But still, you go to a place where there's like 43 degrees. Like, I'll pass. He went to the Joker steps. Yeah, let me see if I can find the Joker steps. Apparently, they're a tourist attraction now. Yeah. Look at this shit. Right? Like everyone's doing it. Everyone goes to the Joker steps. You know, this is a good reason to go to the Joker steps. I have found 2 good reasons to go to the Joker steps. Surprisingly, a lot of women from the pictures. Like, I was told that the Joker is an incel movie, but I see these 2 people are together, so. So weird, just like a small scene in a film managed to become this popular. Where's Umatsu, boss? Why do you want Umatsu? Leave her alone. She's mine. Let me take a look-see at how many hours we got left. By the way, I have noticed, to my utter shock, that the new Star Trek, what's it called? Brave New Worlds. Yes, Brave New Worlds. I can't say that it's good, chat. I can't say that, but what I can say is that it's not that bad. So Star Trek Brave New Worlds is not that bad. It's kind of like Star Trek was supposed to be, but with good graphics. So if you're a Star Trek fan and you have been completely dismayed and disgusted by Star Trek Discovery and all of the other, like, what is it, Lower Decks and all the other shit they made, you could give Star Trek New Worlds a chance, and you may just like it. Strange New Worlds, I think, or Brave New World. I've no fucking idea. Billy, welcome here, Billy. But my point is that Arch Warhammer likes it as well. The Orville is much better, yes. Like, again, for those of you who just joined, the Orville managed to tackle the issue of abortions last episode. And there was this, I'll probably make a video because it just mindfucked me when I said. So there was this alien race that was very religious, okay, like incredibly theocratic. And the captain of the Orville is asked to see how they punish people who do abortions. So they take it, and I was thinking, like, okay, well, public executions, public lashings, public shaming, like, what are they going to do, right? But no, they took the couple, which had an abortion, they took them to the holodeck, like a holographic thing. The computer looked at their DNA, and they recreated a version of the child that would have been according to the DNA. And then they were like, oh, so this is your kid when he would be 10 years old and he just got an A at math class. And this is your kid coming home with the first girlfriend. You're never going to see that because, well, you chose not to have it. And then the kid looks at the woman and it's like, Mommy, why did you do this to me? I wish you'd have made a different choice so I could show you my love to you. I was like, fuck. I did. Holy shit. Thank you for the $2 every week. So I'll look up the Badlands. Wait, is the Badlands a TV show? Or is it a tourist resort? I know that there's like the Badlands TV show, but I didn't like the plot. Like I read the story and I was like, not really my test. They would change a lot of people's minds. They actually did this. Like, they did this in the United States, and I think it got struck down by either the courts or, like, the leftist protest. I forgot what happened. But, like, it was the same concept. Well, not really the same concept. But, like, if you were a woman and you wanted to get an abortion, they would allow it if you can hear the beating heart of your unborn, right? So, like, if you're a woman, you'd go to an ultrasound, and they would have to let you listen to the beating heart, and they would also show it's like, okay, well, this is the fetus. Obviously, it wasn't for like any abortions, right? Because like if you get one like 3 weeks, like you find out that you're pregnant, you take a pregnancy test and you find it out, and it's different. But they did that, and they got really upset. I saw the title of your stream and figured I should no hot coffee, no. And then the kid Thanos snaps from existence. By the way, there was also another thing in the news. Like, this also upset a lot of women. And this is not even like that. Like, this I don't even know why it upset them. But okay, so there was this church which gave names to okay, so let me see if I can find out the article, because I don't want to spread harmful misinformation, so... Oh god, I'll have to look for it, but I'll take it with a grain of salt, right? This is what I remember about the news, so it's not the actual news itself, but there was a place where like Planned Parenthood kept dropping babies, the abortions. So I think it was like a religious person, a priest or something. Like, he took all of those and gave them names and had like a graveyard for it. Like he had like this graveyard for, for the things. And like some woman found out that she was absolutely livid because like they did it without her consent. Like she was really upset. It's like, why did you give it a name? Why did you give it a burial, right? And I think like they didn't want to have like the mental connection that it could have been a person. Like they just wanted to like not anthropomorphize it. I don't even know how to say it. But it was like in the news, and it was very interesting. misinformation equals things that the left don't like. Well, I'll tell you this, right? Like, imagine, I love this, imagine if the shoe was on the other foot. So, right now, there's a lot of misinformation going on. And it's very harmful. Like, I'll show you why. But a lot of people believe that because of the Supreme Court ruling, abortion is banned in the US. I'm not kidding. Like, unironically, there's a lot of people that legitimately believe this story, right? Now, imagine if social media would actually start banning these people for spreading harmful misinformation. And the reason I'm saying it's harmful misinformation, because I'm going to make a video about it tomorrow, right? Look at this. Arizona abortion protest. Police releases tear gas. Lawmakers held hostage in Senate building, right? So shit's going down. And this is due to the misinformation, right? So imagine if they would actually have social media cracking down on it, and all the leftists that are saying, oh, well, because of the Supreme Court ruling, abortions are bad. Like, all of these people would get hit with community guideline strikes. They would get hit with Twitter suspensions and blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, like the left would all of a sudden say, oh yeah, we don't like fact checkers. Get rid of the fact checkers. Why should I wash my feet? I always wash my feet. I don't just wash my feet. Are there people that just wash their feet? Like, this is another interesting thing. Are there people that just wash their feet? Like, not the whole body, just the feet. Unless, like, maybe, like, if I step on something or like, I go out, it's, like, really muddy and I get mud in my shoes or somehow. But, like, yeah. Yeah, I know they won't get hit with misinformation strikes, but I wonder, like, the crying. Like, that's what I want to know. The sounds of despair that would happen if the left actually did get hit with the misinformation strike. But that is actual misinformation. Jesus did. I never understood the symbolism. Like, this is one of the things in religion that I don't get. I would still need to, because I know, like, someone asked Jesus, but, like, why aren't you washing all of my body and just the feet? Like, what? God damn it, why did Jesus wash only the feet? That is interesting. If you really care about the sanctity of human life, then your heart will be broken if a building with frozen embryos burned down. I mean, again, it's the gray area where people are deciding, like, what exactly is considered to be becoming a human being, right? But if you're the person, like, let's say you can't have children, right? And you freeze your eggs. And you find out that a fire, like, destroyed your eggs. And you can't have children. Like, that can be devastating for people. And, yeah, if you have, like, a building of embryos. And let's say, I can't have a child. And I'm trying really, really hard to have a child. And after a while, like, through the magic of science, I now have the embryo. Yeah, if it burns down, like, that family can be devastated with the news. So I don't think, like, you're I don't think your comparison is really that bad. I think a lot of people might be upset. Yes. It's sad for those people, but I'm thinking about the embryos themselves. Like, what do you mean? The embryos themselves, like, obviously, like, the embryos don't, I don't think, like, even a 2 months old baby really understands what's happening around it. Like, you don't even have a conscience at that time, do you? I mean, from what I can understand, like, when a baby is born, he doesn't even see the faces properly. Like, his eyes are still developing. So, I mean, just because, like, someone doesn't understand what's going around them doesn't mean that they're not alive. I mean, you can have people in a coma and they don't understand what's happening around them, but they're still alive, Oh my God, don't talk about... Why would you want to talk about my wife's feet? What is wrong with you? Embryos themselves, don't you mean themselves? I do show my face on my main channel, and I do show my face... No, actually, that's it. I only show my face on my main channel. I do not show my face on anything else. They experience pain. Well, again, like, experiencing pain isn't really... The thing is, like, it's such a gray area that most people can't even agree. Like, what is the defining feature between being alive and not? Between being a human being and not? Like, that is the question. I personally think, like, the moment you have a nervous system. So the moment you actually have your brain developing, I think like that's when you can actually call the beginning of humanity, you know, like beginning of being a human. I thank you, Zixi. I'm glad you like this avatar. I paid a lot for it. Not the actual avatar, but the rigging. The same abortionists would be screaming life on Mars. Well, like, the thing is, like, they're not arguing that it's not alive. They're arguing that it's not a human being, right? So if you find life on Mars, like, you find bacteria, like, yeah, obviously it's alive, but they're advocating the fact that it doesn't have human rights because it's not a human yet. So that is the conversation. Like, at what point does a person get human rights? What the fuck? Like, I had 265 people and now 165. So I had 265 viewers just a couple of seconds ago, and I have 165. I just bored 100 people, I guess. By the way, V, a bigot went and did a bad thing in a... Oh, yeah. I can't talk about these things anymore, you know? To be honest, I really didn't enjoy ambulance chasing because I think it's so meh. Like what do you want me to say? It's like, okay, well, this happened, and then I moralize over it. And of course, you know, the media does this all the freaking time. They're like, oh, well, this tragedy happened. If only we would have been able to push our agenda harder. If only we would be able to take away some people's rights, this could have been avoided. And if they don't have an agenda to push, then they blame video games. It's really the default. It's like, oh, yeah, video games did this. Oh, if only we censored video games more. If only we censor art more. Then, well, if only we prevent entertainment. So, you know, that's pretty much the thing. But if I were to ambulance change, like, what exactly would you want me to say? You know, it's like, okay, well, this tragedy happened, and I don't know. I'm not interested, but, like, YouTube doesn't let you do it either, so it is what it is. I just am so tired of that shit. You have a country of 300 million people, 350, right? Like, obviously, tragedies are going to happen. I'm not even shocked at this point. I kind of seen whatever it is to be seen. Unless it's like a tragedy like you had with World Trade Center that literally shocks people. Yeah, sure. But other than that, no. I don't want to cover it. When you punch a pregnant woman and cause a miscarriage, you can be charged for the loss of life. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting thing, right? Let's assume the hypothetical scenario. Okay, we did this at law school. It's something that you do in order to see if I guess the person has understood how the legal system works. So you have a woman, and she goes to Planned Parenthood, right? And on her way to Planned Parenthood, there's a car crash. And she passes away. So that is, according to the law, in most countries, I don't know how it's the law in the United States, but it's an aggravated murder, right? Because you didn't just took one life, you took two. So that's the interesting conundrum, because had she went to Planned Parenthood, and then the accident would have happened, it would have only been one life, and it would have been a different sentencing. But because she is with child, then the legal system determines that no, the sentencing is worse. So, you know, it's really interesting, isn't it? Like, if you want to put it like that. There was another thing that really got my attention. There was this activist which had an interesting slogan written down. Women cannot be free until they get to choose when they can be parents or not. And I was thinking, like, hold on. Hold on a little bit. Like, even in the most progressive country on earth, men still can't get to choose when they're a parent or not. So, literally by your own admission, you're saying that men can't be free. Because it's true, like any nation on earth, as far as I can know, if you're the father, you have absolutely no choice in whether or not the woman is going to carry the pregnancy, right? Like, if she wants to carry it, fine. If she doesn't, she can have an abortion. But you as the father have zero input. As far as I can know, I don't think there's any country that is so forward-thinking that would allow the ban. There was a legislation, I think in Norway, or Sweden, I forgot which, but obviously it didn't pass. And it was talking about paper abortion. So a paper abortion would have been like, if you're a man and let's say you don't want to be a father, then you basically sign the document and you give away all your parental rights. Like you can't have the right of visitation, you can't have the right to see, the child if the woman doesn't want to, blah blah blah. So obviously it didn't pass, right? But like that would have been something that would be equal, right? Because now it's equality. It's like, okay, well, let's say the man is because at the end of the day, like, hey, it doesn't affect you, right? Like, this is what feminists said. It's like, well, if it doesn't affect you, why are you having an opinion on it? Okay, well, fine. Like, if you're the man and you want to go to college, but you accidentally had a child, and you're like, okay, well, I want to sign the paper abortion. The thing is, though, and this is actually something that I found interesting, is the argument. It's like, well, if you're a man, you shouldn't have an opinion. It's like, really? So, like, child support isn't a thing anymore? Like, do you not think that if you're a man that has an accidental pregnancy, like, they don't have to pay child support until the kid is 18? The only input a father has happened at conception. No, the only input a father has with his wallet as well. I mean, there are some really fucked up cases, okay? Like, one of the cases that I keep bringing up is that in America, if you actually look at how many teachers rape little boys, it's astonishing. Just Google teacher rapes boy, and you're going to find just lists upon lists. There's probably one that did it this month. I wouldn't be shocked. Okay? Like, a lot of teachers. South Park even made fun of that. It's worse than the Catholic Church, by the way. Like, far worse than the Catholic Church. In numbers, I mean. And when you look at the list, like, some of the women are really hot. Like, ara intensifies. And because of that, like, first of all, it's bizarre. Because, like, those women could have consensual sex with adults, whatever they want. I mean, they're smoking hot. I'm not even going to lie. But the problem is, like, a lot of people are looking at it, and they see, like, this smoking hot woman having sex with a 13 or a 14-year-old, and everyone is like, nice. Like in South Park, nice. And it's very difficult to convince these people that it's a problem, right? Because I guess, like, enveloping is different than penetration. I don't know. But here's how you convince people that it's a problem. What happens when that 14-year-old impregnates that 25-year-old teacher? What is it still nice? Oh, all of a sudden it's not nice. All of a sudden it stops being nice. I see. So the woman goes to prison, right? And then she has a kid in prison, and the 14-year-old has to pay child support. Nice. Is it? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it's nice to have a father at 14. So this is why it's banned. And this is why it should be condemned. This is why it's not okay. Can you imagine if you have a kid and you send him to school and he's 14 and he comes home a daddy? I don't think it's nice. I think we should prevent stuff like that from happening. But again, like, a lot of people, they're thinking like, oh, well, I was 21 and I was still a virgin. Oh, I remember Mrs. McKinsey from psychology class, and she was smoking hot. Like, I wish it was like a lot. I think, like, that's the problem, right? Like, a lot of teenagers, they do fantasize about being with their teacher. So when you're an adult and you're thinking back, it's like, oh, well, I fantasize being with teacher, and this guy actually managed to do it. But it's not nice, and I explained it why. And it's also the thing, it's like, oh, well, kids can't consent. Oh, that's spread on Twitter. Like, on Twitter, it's in vogue, especially with some pillars of the Twitter community. They're like, oh, well, it's 16 years old. It should be able to consent. Yeah, but, like, being a daddy at that age is probably not really great, what I'm saying. It's not nice, yes. Not nice at all. Psychology class, we actually had that in high school. Depending on which country you are in, you may have, like, different fields of study, I guess. Yeah. Like, it's kind of the way I view it it's kind of like, I mean, even if you were to give ground that, okay, well, the evil kid threw himself upon the teacher, and she didn't know how to say no. It's kind of like, even if you were to give that moral argument away, which I don't, but for those that really wanna, like, okay, well, it's like incest then. It's still not nice. Mrs. Robinson. Oh, that's a better name. Mrs. Robinson. Tell that to Macron. What has Macron done now? What about 11-year-old pregnant girl? I have seen that at the hospital when I was at. They had arranged marriages in her culture. And you can't complain because, well, it's their culture. The last time Romanian government complained about these things, they were called bigots by the European Union. And they threatened us to cut funding. And the Romanian government was like, oh, you're threatening us to cut funding? Oh, no, that's fine. Like, let them do it. Money more important. Not our arranged marriages, not our problem. His wife is a teacher. Ooh, I don't know that. What about Stacy's mom? What about Stacy's mom? I don't know anything about Stacy's mom. Some cultures are better than others. You know, I have seen a lot of right-wingers advocate for arranged marriage to the point where I find it bizarre. I mean, they're looking at the problem that they're having. You know, like they can't find a date, I guess, so they're really upset. And they probably also look at the promiscuity going around, so they're like, oh, arranged marriage was better. And it's like, I am willing to bet that if you lived in a world of arranged marriages, it probably wouldn't have been that better. And not to mention, I think about this situation, right? Like, if you're in a world of arranged marriages, and your parents pass away, you're kind of fucked, aren't you? Because who's going to arrange for you? And by the time you end up being old, by the time you grow up, 16, 18, depending on legislation, everyone is married. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? I will not delete the stream. You're in love with Stacy's mom? Oh, I see. I don't think I ever had, like, a person that I saw as a MILF. It's like, oh, wow, this mom is hot. It never happened to me. Arranged marriages aren't absolute. No, they're not absolute. But, like, when you look at a country that has it, or a community that practices it, you're going to notice that the overwhelming amount of women are going to end up being taken. So, yeah, sure, they're not absolute. But then you end up with the single moms and the women that may have some issue that, well, because of that, they weren't, like, no, I was interested. They think about the arranged marriage girl will be hot. Yeah, like, that's another thing. Like, compatibility is not being put in question, right? So you may have, like, the girl that you're not compatible with. Like, like, you really don't find her attractive. Like, let's say you're into big boobs, and the woman that you've been paired with is flat as a door. What are you going to do then? You know, like, you're always going to be tempted by other women that are taken by other men. So, I don't know. Like, I personally would not appreciate such a culture. In a society with arranged marriage, the clergy or the elders end up arranging the orphans. I didn't know that. Arranged marriages have higher success. Less single moms. Yeah, but, like, it depends what you value, right? Like, if you put a lot of value on the child, then yeah, sure. But I wonder, like, how much are the parents arguing, right? Like, I wouldn't want to go to a house with horror. Oh my god, I'm going to start arguing with my wife again. Fuck me, you know? Like, it has a mental toll on its own. You know, it's not always, like, the gold standard, oh, well, they didn't divorce. It's like, yeah, sure, they didn't divorce. But, like, imagine being the man and like, you constantly go home thinking, oh god, another argument, and like, home becomes like this living hell. What else to put value? Well, for example, I like the fact that I never argue with my wife. Like, it very rarely happens, and when it does happen, we work it out. But I think I have a quite happy marriage up till now. But like, I'm thinking like my exes. Like I had some exes that I would argue with everything, and was like arguments that really tire you out. Like I'm not the type of person that enjoys screaming matches, you know? And like you go through one, you go through two, you go through three, and it's like, oh fucking hell, you know, my god. Imagine living with this woman. Arranged marriages usually have less fighting because there's less passion. I don't know. I mean, you can still argue with things that aren't because of passion. Like you can argue with things like you clean the room 10 times, and the 11th time you clean it, yet again, she makes a mess, and she never cleans herself, and you're like, oh, fucking hell, you know, like, what are you doing? I mean, look, you have, see, I don't think you need passion for arguments. Like, you can argue with a roommate. Like, someone that you're not involved with, but they piss you off, and you can argue constantly. My mother was abusive to my father and constantly yelled at him. Yeah, I mean, that can happen. I learned really quick how bad women can be before I even became a teenager. Yeah, especially if you live in a house with like sisters or something like that, you can kind of figure it out that, well, women are human beings and are capable of bad things as well. Never had a screaming match. Well, I guess you're lucky. The thing with screaming, and this is what I noticed. I'm not a person that likes screaming, but there's always a but. If the other person you're talking to raises their voice, you raise your voice as well, subconsciously. Like you don't even realize it, right? But like when a person raises their voice, you raise your voice as well, and then if they raise it higher, then you raise it higher as well, and before you know it, you start screaming. So that's the only way you can get me in a screaming match. And like what I put on YouTube, you know, it's for entertainment purpose, but in real life, I'm not like that. You know, like I'm not a loud person. So the only way you can get me to start screaming and shouting is if you start screaming and shouting at me, then subconsciously I just raise the voice. I never do violence though. Like I never snap. And not even like at humans, but not at animals either. Unless it's like in self-defense. Like if a chihuahua bits my leg, then yeah, I'll defend myself. But, you know, I never... I even had like ex-girlfriends that started hitting me and punching me and stuff, and I managed to control myself. Even, you know, like just remove myself from that situation. But like not all men are like that, right? And this is what I noticed at the hospital. Like a lot of violence, a lot of domestic abuse happens like that. Like the woman is the one that initiates. Like she starts screaming, he starts screaming, and then she starts pushing, shoving, you know, punching or whatever, and then he loses control, and there you go. Yeah. So, by oh God, he means oh God, get away from me. Yes. I practice to specifically lower my voice just below their shouting voice. I just make my voice sharper. Well, I'm also cursed with this high pitch voice, you know, like even when I talk loud, it's still like screeching, and it's a completely different question. Does Romania have more inflation than before any shortages? Yeah, we do have inflation. We have a lot more. I noticed that my wife can't keep the household anymore. Because, like, we had the deal, right? I paid the mortgage. I pay for the internet, the electricity, the water, like, everything else. And I don't even have much pocket money at the end of the month. I just have, like, a couple of dollars that I spend on some video games so I can stream. But, like, other than that, yeah, I think like, I have, like, maybe $100, $150 that I keep for myself. And everything else goes to the bills. And meanwhile, my wife is the one that buys food, right? And she can do whatever she wants with the money. I don't care. Like, she just buys food for the house, and then the thing is, like, she doesn't even spend that much on herself, right? So it's fine. But what I did notice is that this worked for the first year, but now she's starting to struggle. Like, now I put aside some of my money so I can give to her, because she can't afford for food anymore. And I'm thinking, like, we're not really buying extravagant stuff. I mean, we're not getting, you know, Black Angus steak or expensive bakeries or anything like. No, we're like just doing shopping. You know, like the vegetables are the ones that cost a lot. No, she's not depressed. I mean, it's fine. It's just that she's economical. Let's put it like that. Like she was raised in a very financially conservative environment, so she doesn't really enjoy like if I actually want to buy her clothes, she gets upset. It's like, oh, we don't have money for that, so she doesn't want to spend money on trivial things, at least until the mortgage is paid. Zenith says that I super chat more than he does. I don't do that anymore. That was literally a phase. Let's put it like that. But I don't super chat anymore. And that was what I could afford it. Yeah, 150 USD is like 1,000 in Romanian bucks. I mean, 150 is a lot, but I do have to take public transportation every time I want to get out of the house. Sometimes I need to get out in order to accomplish various tasks. Sometimes I need some pocket money because something can happen. Like, for example, the TV breaks or something like that, and you need money, you know. The cat gets sick. Pills are required. So you do need to have, like, some money. But yeah, like, I'm just noticing that every month it becomes harder and harder. And now the European Union has passed the Green New Deal, which is probably going to make things even more expensive, so... What about sailing the seas for Vidya? I mean, it depends. There's a new game coming out. Tiny... What the fuck is it called? Let me see if I can find the name. It looks cringe as fuck. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So I wanna buy that in order to stream it on this channel. And that costs... Let me see. That costs $47. I would rather get it now because it's at a discount. But after that is 60 euros. So the advantage, I guess, is like at least I can live stream the games, and if they're entertaining enough, I get some super chats out of it. So it's not like I'm losing the money. What is Romania's public transport like? It's good. I'm not complaining about it. I mean, it arrives on time. Sometimes it's crowded, but most of the time it's okay. My country is like getting through nuclear power plant. Oh, that's good. Your wife has you by the purse? Not really, because it's her money, right? Like, and she doesn't take my money, but I'm the one that just wants to give to her. Like, if I see that she's struggling really hard in a particular month. Yeah, $47 on Steam Summer Sale, yeah. It's euros, actually. It's not dollars. I'm not a fan of the old Sioa games. I don't even know what those are. I mean, maybe I am, but I don't know what the games are, so. Saints Row Reboot character creator replaces gender options with sliders for specific body parts. Reduces max breast size. I noticed this. Like, I noticed this. You have video games that have fucking penis sliders, but you still can't use breast sides as a slider. That's so freaking fascinating. I don't understand, like, why is it that identity politics is so fucking spiteful? Like, why is it that then when they advocate for a group, it has to be done at the service of other groups? So, for example, right, with men. Like, you got feminism, and feminism says video games are problematic, right? Like, big boobs are a problem, blah, blah, blah. So then you have, like, all of these video game developers, like, making men like they're Greek statues, like, buffed up, you know, they're like demigods. World of Warcraft is renowned for this. You have Cyberpunk giving you penis sliders and stuff. And then, when it comes to the women, reduce breast size. Like, what do men like? Big asses. Okay, let's take that away. Skimpy clad clothes. No, let's dress them up. You know, like, it's so interesting. It's like, why can't you just be equal? Like, if you're going to desexify the video game, then do it for both men and women. Or if you're going to sexify it, do it for both. My wife couldn't live with me if we split expenses. I don't really split expenses, dude. I just give her, like, I don't know, like, last month, I think I gave her $50 or something, because, like, she ran out of money. But, like, before it didn't happen, like, before she even had money left, like, she could even help me out if I needed. And besides, like, if I ever need money, like, something happens, like, cat gets sick, and it's the end of the month, And it's like 5 days before I make more money, like before I get paid by YouTube. I'm like, okay, can you lend me some money? And if she has, she does, and doesn't ask back for it. So it's not like. Do you expect things to get significantly worse? Absolutely. Do you do something like have 3 months worth of cans? No. But like the thing is, like if you're in the city and things are going bad, no amount of cans is going to save you. I don't think we're all going to die either, but no, it's going to get really bad. Like basically some people might even have to sell their house. That's how bad I think it's going to get, right? So if you live in a 3-room apartment and you're one person, you might have to sell that and buy a 1-room apartment. Because it's going to be really hard to pay for like the gas tax, gas prices to heat up the apartment. It's going to be difficult to pay for electricity, so on and so forth. I don't play a lot of Western games anymore because modern Western games have really crap female character design. It's not only that, like I noticed the California random humor, like the tee-hee type of humor. And it's happening in so many games. It's almost like I played the same game. Like every single game is like Rick and Morty. You know, the same type of humor that you find. Actually, no, hold on. Like Rick and Morty is actually funny. Okay. What is that game called from Disney? Star versus Evil, I think. Yeah, Star versus the Forces of Evil. All right, so let me show you. When I watched E3, like so many games
Summer
were like this. It's almost like there was a time when all the games were super edgy, you know, like everything is dark and it's Batman and he's edgy. And let's make another game that's more edgy. And now, like, all of these games, they have this thing. So, right? Cheap graphics. Very, very cheap graphics that can be easily mass-produced. And everything is happening very quickly, right? Like, it's almost like it's made for people with ADHD. So, look. She's already zapping this creature randomly, like for no reason. Like it just starts, right? Like it just starts here. She gets her little magic wand, and immediately she zaps someone. And there's like for no reason, there's like these creatures coming out of the wand, and already you see the mother just immediately arriving and pushing her here, like even before you can even understand what happened. Right? Like already, boom, another character. Like and the joke is like, look, he does karate, but like she defends him. And they're already running somewhere else. You don't even have time to comprehend what's happening. Right? And for no reason, the monster is dancing now. And it's so fucking random. Like, this guy has a face tattooed on his belly. Why? And they're going to another dimension. Right? And like, I mean, it's fine, you know? I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that. It's a taste for... Yeah, it's exactly. Oh my god, OMG, so random XD. Like, I have seen just so many games. Like, this is the progressive type of humor. OMG, so random XD. And when they talk, it's like Has-Been Hotel, right? Like, not only are the jokes very random, but they curse a lot. They curse every single sentence. Like, they curse like a punctuation sign. And I think like what they're trying to accomplish is the success of South Park, or Beavis and Butthead. But those were, yeah, they cursed a lot, but they also were literally, like, legitimately edgy because they made fun of religion. Like South Park, in a time when everyone was hyper religious, like you could get fired from some jobs if they found out that you're an atheist. And in the first episode of South Park, they have Jesus Christ battling Santa Claus, right? So they didn't give a shit about political correctness. But these cartoons are incredibly politically correct, and at the same time, they curse, right? So it's like, okay, but like, why are you cursing? Oh, to be edgy, to push boundaries. It's like, okay, but if you're pushing boundaries and you're being politically correct, you're not really pushing any boundary, are you? If times get hard, I will help you with my inflated currency because I love you. Oh, Johnny. Well, like, what if you have inflation as well? And I have inflation, and then, it evens out, and you can't help me. I'm going to be a time period where it's like, oh, look, I have $10,000 donation. Wow, thank you. Yay. Now I can buy an apple. Is that how it works in Europe? We share an account. Jesus fucking Christ. No, I wouldn't share money with my wife. Holy fucking shit. And then I would have to explain everything that I buy. And then I would have to ask her, like, hey, why'd you buy this? Why'd you buy that? No, like, I would never share an account with my wife. Holy shit. I think, like, sharing an account with your spouse is the reason for a lot of scandals. My parents did that. They often argued because of money. The way I do it, I think, is a lot better. Like, we never argued because of finances. I mean, maybe sometimes we argued. Oh, yeah, we argued once, actually. We argued once. And the reason we argued is because she didn't know exactly how much money she had. Like, she didn't know how to use the phone app. And because of that, we ended up in debt that month. So she told me she has more money than she did. I ended up buying something that I wouldn't have, and then I found out that, oh, she doesn't have money and the cat is sick. And I was like, oh, god damn it, woman, can you please learn the phone app? Like, look, if you can't do it yourself, I'll help you, but, like, please get that sorted, And that was the expense of the argument. But, like, that, by doing things this way, you're never going to get in trouble. And the thing is, like, how do you end up sharing an account anyway? Like, if you come with that initiative, then obviously she's going to be entitled, that is going to consider that your money is her money, and it shouldn't be like that. You should have your money separate, and if she needs some of your money, then give it to her, if it's for reasonable reasons. But that's pretty much it. I don't understand, like, okay, so, like, if I get an American woman, let's say I marry an American woman, right? How does it get to the point where I'm sharing an account? I don't get it. I think some countries would define that as wife abuse. No, it's not. That's not even serious enough to warrant an argument. Well, it is serious because if it keeps happening, you can end up in trouble. Like, you can have the cat dying and there's no money to take her to the vet. I do think, like, it does warrant at least a little bit of a frowny face. England would and does. I don't think it does. No, I don't believe you. Her money is family money, and family money is managed by the man. Yeah, well, that's another bad thing. Like, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like getting her money and, like, being in charge of that, because then I would feel bad every time I buy something for me. I'm like, oh, well, I'm buying something for me, but it's from her money, and it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Family is an institution. So what if family is an institution? Like, I don't understand why you people are saying you're weird. I would want a shared account because I'd be a housewife, but also want a budget. Okay, if she's a housewife, like, if I were to have Umatsu Obosa's big titties, and she's my wife in this alternative reality, I would be like, Umatsu, I make this amount of money. I'm going to give you 30% every month because you're the housewife, and that's it. Right? If you need more, you talk to me. But that's how I would handle it. I would not have a shared account. I'd be like, you get 30%. And if you need more, I will go like, why? Haven't I given you enough? What have you done with them? And then you would be like, oh, well, I went and I did this and this and that. And I would be like, okay. Wait until next month and then I'll give you more. Or if it's reasonable and you're like, well, I was driving the car and we had to repair it, and we had to call the plumber because the gas, the pipe broke and there was water flooding on the lawn and it had to be fixed. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, here's 15% more. That's pretty much how I would, see, like, what side is reasonable? Oh my fucking god, look at this power that men have to talk logic to people and convince them that your position is reasonable. And Umatsu Obosa is an American woman, and I fucking convinced her that my position is... All the chat was like, oh no, women would never do that. It's like, oh no, you don't understand women. Oh, look, I think I do. I think I'm managing to reach... to reach people and make them understand. I'm pretty sure if you can help a 10-year-old girl understand, like if you're having a daughter and you're going to help her understand things at 10 years old, I'm pretty sure you can help a grown-ass woman understand things as well. Because husband and wife put their stuff... You see, that's the mentality that leads to arguments. Of course, no, I disagree with that. I don't think like husband and wives put things together. No, absolutely fucking not. All right? My woman needs her space. Like, she has a room in the house. That's her room. She decorates it however she wants. She does things there that she wants. Like, she watches whatever movie she wants. She reads. She studies. Like, I don't interrupt her when she's in her room studying, right? And I have my own room. And I do whatever I want. And then we have the common place. Where, you know, we go and we eat. We watch a movie together. We have the bedroom that we share. And I think this is a lot more healthy than like everything is together. No, like if you have the everything is together, then you're going to have a lot of arguments. And you're going to end up with divorces. Anyone who thinks they are living in the Handmaid's Tale is free to move to the Middle East. Well, that is the Handmaid's Tale director's cut, I guess. Parents who treat the children's possessions, being their parents to sell, are pretty horrible parents. I fucking agree with that. Yeah, no, I think you should teach your children the concept that they own stuff. Right? Like, when your kid is young, you should allow him. Like, obviously, it's still yours. Like, you buy the toy. Okay? Like you buy a toy for your kid. You let the kid have it. Technically, it's still yours, right? Like, you can't take it away from him. You can sell. But you should allow the kid to have the concept of ownership. You should allow him to know, no, this is his toy. You're not going to throw it away. I mean, sure, you can restrict access to the toy. You can do this thing. But, like, don't be an asshole. Like, you're such an asshole if you're like, oh, well, I'm taking it away and I'm selling it. Separate room sounds like a great idea. Well, like, here's the thing, all right? Every single human being needs personal time. Just because you're married doesn't mean you don't have personal stuff anymore. Like human beings aren't two-headed ogres. Human beings are like, oh, well, just because I'm married now, everything that I do, everything that I own is hers as well. Like, on paper, it is, right? Like, on paper, yeah. Like, on paper, there's the institutional marriage and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, it's a lot more healthy and a lot better if you share things and at the same time have privacy. You need a room where she knocks before entering. Right? And she needs a room where you knock before entering. I think that's so fucking reasonable. I don't know why this would even be controversial. You can teach the kid the concept of ownership by giving them allowance. I absolutely agree. And if you give your kid allowance, never buy them extra stuff. Right? Like, you give them allowance, and then if they need more, you go, well, shouldn't have spent it. You should have managed your allowance better. And also, like, I would not just give my kid allowance. I would get him to do chores. Like, I would be like, okay, well, you need to take the garbage out. You need to wash the dishes. And you do that every single day. And by the end of the week, you get money. And you get to use them with the mindset that, well, they can have, like, that's how real life is like. It's called the bathroom. I don't think we actually have privacy in the bathroom. I think she just opens the door. And if the door is locked, it means that the other person is taking a shit. But no, I'm talking about, like, not the bathroom. I'm talking about the man cave, you know? Or the woman cave, or whatever. Like, it's good to have separate rooms, basically. And allow, you know, like, the thing is, like, this is the way we also decorated the house. Like, I decorate my room, she decorates her room, and everything else we decorated together. And that also is, I would only tell the kid to wash his dishes, not everybody in the house that's just lazy. But he wants to get paid, right? And not only that, like, even if you wash your dish, there is a pot in which the thing has been cooked in, right? Who washes that? Who washes the big pot? Because at the end of the day, washing your dish is easy. The problem is with washing the pot. Like, let's say, especially if it's like a food that sticks, like you make mac and cheese in a big pot. Washing that is the difficult task. Washing your dish with the mac and cheese, that's easy. You can do it in 10 seconds. No, it's not an open door bathroom, but like, I guess we never talked about it. It's just, it happens. 2 bathroom, avoid a bunch of dumb. My fucking god, like I lived in a place with 1 bathroom. Like you don't understand the horrors of the 1 bathroom. Like if a person takes a shit, there's a biohazard in that bathroom for a couple of hours. If a person is in the bathroom, like taking a shower, and you wanna use it, well, tough luck. Like 2 bathrooms is bare minimum in my opinion. Yeah, but married couples should be capable of sharing a bathroom. The big problem is the stinky pickle. That's it. I was cooking full meals for 6 and complete cleanup since I was 9. No allowance. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like that's how I grew up as well. Like my parents got me to do the dishes constantly. And I didn't get allowance. And I'm thinking, well, my kid will do the dishes, but he will get allowance. Anyway, right. Holy shit. This was a long-ass stream. Man, I don't understand why I'm getting so tired making the streams now. I think like back in the day I was only making 1 video and I was doing bigger streams. But I'm thinking now, you know, I was looking at Pipkin Pippa. I was like, holy shit, like she makes like 3-hour streams. Like how does she do it? How does Pipkin Pippa make 3-hour streams? Then I realized, yeah, but like she doesn't make 4 other videos a day. I make 4 videos and a fucking stream. It's really tiring. I mean, I'm not complaining, okay? I mean, it's not as bad as back-breaking work, but what I'm saying is that I run out of conversations. That's the problem. Run out of conversations, and you also realize that your brain doesn't function. I mean, look at the beginning of the stream and how I was rolling and stuff, and then it's like the brain hits the brakes. Anyway, right. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I really appreciate the donations. And let me know what you guys think about the subjects in the comment section. And I do read the comment section. There was a guy that was completely wrong about my assessment of the boys in the previous stream. I'll probably... I wanted to talk about that. I don't know why I didn't. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Anyway, see you guys later. Take care.